This is Tracy at Bailey's Furniture Boutique. Today we are going to recreate this really pretty wall art that's glass painting, and I'm going to show you how to do it from start to finish. You can change up the colors, you can change up the background, but I'm going to show you how to do it this way. We're going to start with an 11 by 14 frame. That's the same frame as the one I just showed you, the finished product. I picked this up at Walmart. You can use a thrifted frame, whatever you have on hand. This one is 11 by 14 with an 8 by 10 opening. A coloring page that I had AI create for me. We're going to use the Bloom and Flutter new redesign with Prima mold to make the hummingbirds. We're going to use black resin to make the hummingbirds. We're going to use gold wax paste to decorate the frame. We're going to use gold and black contour liners to create the outlines on the glass. And we are going to use the Vineyard Elegance transfer on the mat around your floral design. It doesn't come off on this side. So I'm just going to take it. So it just unfolds like this in the back. So we'll get the cardboard piece out of here and the paper that it comes with. And I'm going to leave the mat in there for right this minute. And I'm going to center my page on it. Let me put you down here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to center my page on it and tape my page down. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So you just kind of eyeball it to where you want it. I think that's good right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish taping it down. And we're going to do this start to finish. I did mine in segments, so this video is going to be a little bit long, and I'll just try to keep it moving. So I'm just going to put these back on and flip this back around. All right, so this is what you have when you get that taped on there. See, the mat is still there. And it looks like the shadows of my lights are in the glass. All right, so now we're going to need our contour liners in the gold and the black. And these are the ones that I'm using. And I'm going to go through and outline, not every single thing, but most everything. And this is what a little bit time consuming. And these little contour liners sometimes can be tricky. So if you've never used them before, I would practice on something. But these are so handy. I love them. I use mine all the time. Okay, so I'm just going to use my gold liner, and I'm going to outline my flower petals. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Because you can add more later. Mine has some dried stuff in it, and I can't get it to come out. And you just wanna, there it goes. So you just want to outline everything. And I don't do every little thing on these pages. My gold is acting up and giving me troubles today. And you'll see mine is not perfect at all, by any means. Handmade projects are perfectly imperfect. And I guarantee you this one won't be the same as the one I have finished already. It'll be different. That's the thing. The beauty with a handmade DIY. No two are going to be the same. Even if it was made by the same person, it's not going to be the same. I have a hard piece of something in here because this is the most time-consuming part of the whole project. Outline and everything. And when you get to the middle with these really little ones, I just kind of go around them a little bit. I don't do every one. And then by the time you're done, your contour liner should be dry enough that we can paint. See, I'm not putting every line in these littler ones. And like I said, you can go back through as well. And touch up or add or whatever you want to do. You gotta trust the process because at this point it doesn't look like it's gonna look like much. But it will in the end. All right, one more flower to go. I try to do top to bottom, and that way you're not smearing it. See, when you get to the little bits, I'm just dotting it on there. Because once we get the paint on there, you're not going to see that anyway. Okay, so I have all the gold done. So now I'm going to get the black out and do the leaves. And you can do these in any colors. You don't have to do the colors that I'm doing. These contour liners come in a lot of different colors. They're wonderful little things, that's for sure. Now I'm going to do the leaves. And like I said, I'm not doing every line. I'm just kind of going around a little bit. And you can do this with any coloring page. And it depends on how hard you squeeze these with how much comes out. That's why I said maybe practice a little bit before you try to use them on these. They're really, once you get a little bit comfortable with them, they're wonderful. Okay, I think all right, I think that's good. Okay, so I used the contour liners and we outlined everything that's going to be painted, and this is what it looks like. And now while this is gonna, I'm gonna let this dry just a couple of minutes before we start painting. And I am going to make these molds while we're waiting for that to dry a little bit. I highly recommend using gloves for this. For the resin. These measurements, the A and the B, they need to be pretty precise or else it won't set up properly. So, and you don't want to shake it because you don't want a lot of air bubbles. So I just kind of swirl it around a couple of minutes here. And this is part A, and I'm going to make 1 ounce, I think. And this, the black is a 30-minute cure time. I'll make 2. So we'll let this cure while we're doing our other project here. And once the A and the B are mixed together, you want to mix them, try to mix them thoroughly, but you don't have a lot of work time. And when I make resin, I always have, I don't today, but I usually always have an extra mold sitting around to not waste. So then we're just going to pour these in. And I do have extra, so I'm going to use it in the flower here. And you can use your little stick to get it to go to the parts that it didn't reach. Okay. I'm going to get it down here. The black, you have a little bit more time to work before it starts setting up than the some of the white is 10 minutes, and you really need to try to work fast with that one. So I'm just gonna try to move this around in here to get it everywhere. got it all over the table. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to set these aside very carefully. And we'll continue on. And we're going to start to paint. And I do have glass paints, and we're going to be using this grain. I do not have these in stock, but if there was a want for them, I can certainly get them. They are nice paints, but for the blue flowers, I'm going to use this here today. And I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this, what color is this? Pink quartz, to make it a little bit lighter so we have a variation. And I'm just going to mix it up a bit. Just so we have a couple different variations of the blues. And you just go in and you just start putting your paint down inside your lines. And there's no rhyme or reason, it's just wherever you want to put it. And if you get the paint over your gold, that's okay. You can either wipe it off, or when it's all done, the very last step is just to go over it with your gold contour liner just one more time in wherever spot you want it to be touched up. And just hit your petals. This part takes a little bit too. I'm going a little faster than I normally would for the sake of this video because it's going to be long enough as it is. But there's one flower. And then you just keep going. If you wanted to do the other two flowers different colors, you absolutely could. It's whatever you want. It's your creation. I'm just going to do mine all blue. And you want to try not to touch your gold too much because mine is not dry yet. It dries fairly quickly, but and I'm just using the variations of the blues that I've mixed with the other color and the okay, and there's another one. And this is going to be a workshop if you're local to the Triangle area. This is going to be a workshop for June. I'm working on that schedule. So if you wanted to register to take the class at Lexi and the Chi and Dunn, follow my Facebook page for a schedule. And you can get most of these products on my website too. I can put the link in the comments. contour liners, the transfer, the mold. You can also get them local at Lexi and the Chi if you're local. Or you can purchase them off the website if you're local, and there's a choice you can pick up at checkout. And pick them up at my home in Clayton. Okay. Now I did get the blue paint on quite a few areas of my gold, but when I'm completely finished, the very last thing I'll do is go back over a couple of those areas. All right, so we got the blue. So now we're gonna do the leaves. And I'm going to use the green glass paint for this. And the glass paint is like an iridescent, so I like it. Like I said, if you want some, let me know. I can get it. I can carry it. I just don't have any on my website right now. Oh, I forgot to do the little buds. I'm gonna go back. And the contour liner, when you outline, it really does help you try to stay inside the lines. Okay. Almost done. And I'll go back and get those buds up at the top before we move on. We're about half done at this point. Okay, so that's all the leaves. I'm just gonna hit these couple things up here that I forgot about. All right, one more. Okay, all right, so that's that. Now what we're gonna do, all right, so we're done with the painting. Now what we're gonna do is take the mat out so we can do that part of it. And we're gonna do the back. On the one that I had finished already, I actually painted the back. But for sake of drying time today for the video, we're just gonna put paper on it. All right, so I wanna take this whole thing out. I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry, and we're gonna work on this part. So at this point, we can take this off. Okay. And now we're going to use the transfer. And this is this one. This is just little pieces that I have left over. It's the same one. So pretty. And so we're just going to put this on here. You just want to make sure it's down. And they all come with these little rubbing tools. And just pull it up. And that's what you have. And there's a few pieces that I'm just going to fold over here on the ridge. I'm going to turn this around and put this one on the top. Rinse and repeat. There you go. We got it up on the top and the bottom. Now we're going to do and I'm using the remnants of the one that I used on the last one, so I'm trying to piece mine together. And I'm going to use the edge of this to put over here. Use that. And I'm just folding over what's hanging. Okay, see what I've got going on here so far. And I'm gonna probably be a little bit short, but I'll make it work. All right. And honestly, just for the sake of opening up another one, I'm just trying piecing mine together. When you open up a new one, you will not have to do this. Just for the sake of me opening a new one, I'm not going to. So I'm just finding empty spots to put them in. That will do. But this is what we have. All right, so I'm gonna put that back in here so then you can see it. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far. Okay. All right, now we're going to put the paper in the back part here. We're going to put the paper over here. And I'm just trying to, actually, you can use this to measure. And I'm just rough cutting because it's going to be hidden anyway. Alright, so then I'm going to do this. You can put this here. And this is just scrapbook paper. And I forgot to grab the Scotch tape, so I'm just going to tape it down with this just so you can see. Okay, so that's what we're looking like so far. All right. So now what we're going to do is decorate the frame with the gold wax paste. This stuff is magic in a little jar. Depending on how much or how little you want to use, that's totally up to you. But I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to brush it on. And this is oil-based, and it pretty much dries instantly. But it just makes it look so much better. And it comes in many different colors, which they are all on my website as well. The thicker you put it on, the little bit longer it's going to take to dry. But it's fairly quickly. And if you like the frame as is, then you don't need to use this at all. Or you could just use it to highlight these little details here like this. Or you can just buy a gold frame. But like I said, this stuff is magic in a little jar. I use it on just about every project that I do. And we're almost done. We have to do the little hummingbirds next. And you can paint the hummingbirds. I'm just going to put this gold wax paste on over top of the black. That's why I used black. But you can absolutely paint them, whatever you want. I love to see the creativity of people when they do projects, like in the workshops. And you can also put this on with your finger, and I usually do, but with this much, I'm just using the brush. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna go around and touch up a couple of different areas. And, well, actually, and you can do this, just touch up a couple different areas, and you can make it thicker if you want. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. but this step is not necessary if you don't want to do it. But what I am gonna do is go through with my black and just put the dots for the middle and then put a couple little lines for the flower petals. And this is also optional. Whatever you want it to look like. Okay. So this is what we have so far. We are almost finished. I'm going to put this over here to the side. And we are going to, our molds are ready, and we're going to demold. This is so satisfying. So pretty. So pretty. Oh, that one go in there. And see, this one I've overfilled a little bit, and I'll trim that off. But there you have it. I'm going to use one of these little X-Acto knives to trim it off. And if you do this fairly early on, before it's real hard, it's easy to trim. Okay. I'm going to do his foot here a little bit. All right, and so that's what we have. And so what we're going to do here, for the sake of time, and like I said, you can absolutely paint these. The ones on the finished product, these I used black resin for, and I did paint them with several different colors. You can see them. But for today, I am going to use the gold wax paste, and we are just going to highlight the details. So I'm just gonna like brush this on. These molds are so detailed. Look at that. They're so pretty. And so we're just gonna do this. There you have it. So this is the black resin with the gold wax paste, and this is just plain. And I'm just brushing it on in any which way. And it just highlights all of the details. Love this stuff. This one needs trimmed up a little bit. And I'm just brushing it on. This is an excellent way to elevate your project, because you can use this stuff on just about anything. And your black is still showing through. And then what we're gonna do is bring our picture back over here. And these are optional. If you like your photo frame like this, then you don't have to add the birds. That's totally optional. But we're gonna go ahead and add them. And I'm just using Gorilla Glue to put these on. There. And then there. And this glue dries fairly quickly. And there you have it. From start to finish. Let me know what you think in the comments. My website is Baylees FB, BAYLEES FB.com. And most of the products that we used here today are on the website. I hope this was enjoyable for you, and I hope to try it. Thank you.